Good evening, I'm Chad Hedrick, and welcome to the Real Host of Morehead Today reunion. Tonight we're sitting down with all the former hosts of Morehead Today to reflect on the last 7 semesters of the show, talk about their memories as hosts, and answer some of the questions that you sent in. But before we get in on all the fun, let me be the first to welcome back to the Morehead Today set all of our former hosts. He started the show back in 2010, was it? Mr. Gary Cornett. How are you doing, Gary?
Fine, thank you.
He hosted the show second and was this season's director, Mr. Nate Merritt. Thanks for being here, Nate.
Absolutely.
And in spring 2013, he was the third host of Morehead Today, Mr. David Ray Gillum.
Good to be here.
And she was the show's first female host, Miss Haley Murphy.
And the final host.
The final host. Gary, what was the original premise for the show when it started?
The original premise was that we create a show that was regionally engaging for this area, so we decided a talk show format would probably be the best, and we set out to go out into the community and just show what was going on around Morehead and Round County.
Cool. And Nate, like I said earlier, you hosted and directed the show.
Right.
Which one do you prefer?
Absolutely hosting. As being in front of the camera is where I belong. I love it. It's a lot of fun. You know, you can, and especially getting to meet the people. That was to me the best part. I got to meet a lot of people and hear a lot of live music. So you can't go wrong.
Yeah. Now, D-Ray, what have you been up to since you graduated?
Since I graduated, literally a week after graduation, I moved to Lexington. And I've been working at a website there doing news reporting called Surf Kentucky.
Surf Kentucky. Now, do you think that hosting the show helped you in any way prepare
Absolutely.
for it?
Yeah, because when you're hosting the show, it's all about the interview and all about the questions you ask. So when it comes to actually doing interviews for an actual news story, it's the same concept.
Okay. Now, Haley, did you feel this sense of added pressure to be the first female host for the show?
Well, not so much because I was the first female host, but just because, I mean, the show, since it started with Gary, it kept getting better each semester as, people improved and equipment improved. So I feel like I had a lot to live up to, and I'm really competitive, so I kind of felt the need to try to, outdo them. I mean, and, I'm a girl, so I'm better to look at, obviously, but I guess it was just the pressure of living up to the same standard and surpassing it, too.
I mean, if you look back on the show from the time Gary started it to now, just the set and everything else, I mean, we totally revamped it for this season. So, I mean,
I got rid of that big desk.
That big desk.
Hey,
we brought,
It's definitely this is more of a feminine touch. Let's just say,
Yeah.
obviously.
But of course, does this look familiar to any of you all? We had to pay tribute to the old sets and bring out the mic.
That was never plugged in.
It's pointed towards me because this is my show. So, all right, we'll be right back with more of the Real Hosts Morehead Today reunion.
Conveniently located on the bottom floor of Aduc, the Morehead State University bookstore has everything you need and more.
And we're back with the real hosts of Morehead Today reunion. So guys, what was your favorite memory as host? Gary?
I really enjoyed the music segments. I had a lot of fun interacting with different people involved with Morehead's music scene, giving them a little exposure, especially when we brought George Moulton on the show. He just performed so fantastically, and we actually got a lot of viewership drawn in by bringing George on the show. So I think that was probably my favorite.
Nate?
For me, besides meeting just a lot of different people, the one thing that stands out in my mind on my show was we had a musical guest who was supposed to bring 2 songs to sing, and she brought 1. So there I'm left with about 5 minutes of time to fill. So what do? I said, well, I'll rap. And so I went and printed off lyrics really quick, downloaded a beat and put it to a little flash drive, put it in, played it over the speakers, and I did my best to be the best white boy rapper this show has ever seen.
Do you think there's still a clip of that?
Yeah,
There is. It is. And it made one of the shows.
Let's take a look.
Let's bring that up. D-Ray?
Probably my favorite memories was honestly behind the scenes of the show when we all got together. Haley can attest to the late night editing sessions that we would have. And I mean, our crew was just like a family. We always just we joked around, had great times, and it was just probably one of my favorite memories of it all.
My favorite, you didn't ask me, but I'm just saying, my favorite was, I think, probably our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good show, very good show.
Yeah, something about it, it was kind of a disaster in the making, I kind of thought all day long, with, cobwebs everywhere, but it actually turned out pretty cool, and I really liked the intro for that show. That was my favorite thing.
That was a really good show.
So I think that was it. And other than that, like kind of as D-Ray said, just getting to know everybody and working with everybody, and everybody's always sarcastic and joking because there's not as much pressure on the show. It's more laid back, and I like that.
Now, this is where it's going to get a little interesting. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best, rate each other's performance as hosts of the show.
2, 1, 3. No,
0 for me. D-Ray gets a 10 for sure.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, working behind the scenes for D-Ray's show, that was the first time I'd ever seen Morehead Today. So, as a host, it was kind of rocky sometimes.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
He'd be really good, and then he'd get nervous as soon as it started, and he would just crash and burn pretty quickly.
That's kind of the way I feel right now.
I would probably give him a 6, maybe.
Ish.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a deep burn.
That is.
I'm getting harsh. Gary, I've only seen a couple of clips of his, but as a host, I think he probably should have cut his hair a little bit. I'm sure we'll get to that later, but he was a pretty good host, minus that weird set he had. I give him a 7 or so. And I would say Nate's was probably, of the 3 of y'all, the best. I would give Nate an 8 or 9.
He was very energetic.
Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah.
Nate's was the best because of that introduction he had.
Oh, that was awesome.
Thank you very much.
Being in the lake.
That was a lot of fun to shoot. That was a lot of fun to shoot.
Now, Nate, you when you started the show, your second season, you started the intro wearing this raggedy old beard. Right. And it just took off from there. Do you still have that beard?
I do, and I brought it with me today. And it's a shame that I never got 50 likes on my Facebook post. I said I would wear it again if I got 50 likes, but since I didn't, just for good old time's sake, I'll put this on, and I'll tell you, after having it on, I feel like I gotta have a voice like this, like a burly man's voice that would have a beard like this.
Now, Haley, did any of these 3 give you any advice before you started the show?
D-Ray did. I worked on his crew, like I said, and I got kind of pushed in to doing the show, I guess, because I helped him out and somehow became his I don't know. Yeah, it felt like it at times, but so he just kind of, I don't know, helps me figure out how to get people and just talking to people, and really by watching him is kind of how I learned what I wanted to do and good things to do and some not so good things, but.
Nate was my savior many times because he was still around when I was doing the show, and he had done it the year before because he was the previous host. And all those.
That's correct.
It was correct, yeah. And he was always the one. He had all the computer skills, all the crazy graphics. That's because of him. No, it had nothing to do with me.
I didn't have those skills.
You did intro for this season, didn't you? With
Yes.
the bubbles.
I helped out
You
with it.
helped
Yeah,
out.
she picked what she wanted.
I picked out the colors. Let's be real.
All right. Well, we'll be right back with more of the real hosts of Morehead today.
Eagle Lake is only a short walk away and allows you to escape from everyday life. You can exercise and relieve stress by walking around the lake, or you can just sit back and enjoy the view. Eagle Lake is the perfect place to go to relax, but in the next few months it's going to get even better. So what are you waiting for? Go up to the lake. You know you want to.
And we're back with more of the real hosts of Morehead today. Was there ever a moment of panic that you all had, like if a guest canceled or something just wasn't going the way that it planned?
Yeah, it just, excuse me. For me, it was just the fact that, whenever the 10 minutes right before the show, there's always that little bit, is somebody going to call and say, oh, I can't make it. Mm-hmm. That was nerve-wracking for me.
It's the worst. It's the worst feeling.
I mean, I know we had an instance this season where our musical guest canceled.
It was like a miscommunication that I've still never figured out what happened, but they assumed my lack of reply was them not being invited. I don't know. But so that was kind of a panic, and
I'm getting a text
luckily,
an hour before the show. Find me a musical.
Those KC10 people will always come through for you. That's what you learn. Other than that, there was a couple moments when people said they'd be here at like 4:05 and it'd be like 4:07. I'm like, oh gosh, where are they? Because I'm always trying to figure out. But it was pretty mellow, I thought.
The best is when you have to book a guest 10 minutes before the show starts. I know I'm telling on myself. Sorry, Tim.
You can always get Megan Boone's that.
Exactly. But if someone cancels, you start sending out mass text messages like, who's doing something that we can talk about?
Well, that's the good thing about this department, because people are always working on projects and have like at least video clips or something. So you're just like, oh, you're working on that thing? Come bring it.
That's right. One time I had D-Ray was supposed to be on my show.
Oh.
This man forgot. This man forgot he was supposed to be on the show.
I was on my way out of town.
On his way home.
In my defense, I turned right back around.
He turned around and came back
There we
and did
go.
the show in shorts and flip-flops.
Shorts and flip flops, but I was here.
He was here. He did.
all that
I appreciate
matters.
it.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Gary, have you kept up with the show any since you hosted it?
Somewhat, not regularly, but I've popped into the YouTube every so often just to see what's been going on, see what's happened, over
He
the
helped
past
us
few
on a
years.
show.
Yeah, you were here.
Ran sound.
Yeah, actually, ran sound for the first episode of this season.
Was that weird for you to?
No, not weird at all. I did sound a lot for productions that I did in undergrad and grad school, so I'm really comfortable with the console, and it was totally simple.
Good. D-Ray, you recently did an interview with Haley for the show this season. Was it strange being opposite of an interview for a show you once hosted?
Very. It was
As you are now.
exactly as we are now. But I mean, if you know how to interview, you know how to answer the questions. So I mean, wasn't really that big of a change, but it was definitely a different gear I was in.
Yeah.
I just had to interview him. He's like my best friend. I had to talk to him.
Aw. Has he been supportive of you this semester?
Yeah, I've kind of called him a couple times with like meltdowns and complaining, and but
Not about your segment producers.
no,
or
never
anything.
never. But like oddly enough, D-Ray's the person who actually got me into this major. I was a French major before. We don't know why, but I was. And
Don't really know where that came
I
from.
met D-Ray, and the same night I met him, he was like, "Oh my gosh, you'd be perfect for it. Blah 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 blah. You get to host TV shows. You get to be on the news." And I was like, "Okay, cool, yeah." And
Beginning
then,
of a beautiful relationship.
yes, it was.
You
So like,
created a monster.
Created a monster. It's
so
exactly
like,
what I
I'm
did.
pretty sure the very next day I talked to Tim and was like, "So I'm going to change my major," and told him why, and he's like, "Okay, cool." So since that, and then I became a sidekick for Morehead Today, and then it took over.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah, I owe him a lot.
Well, we'll be right back with more with the reunion. Okay guys, so some of the crew members and I decided that we would go through some old footage and give some awards to you all for your performance.
Ooh.
We have the Best Intro Award goes to Mr. Nate Merritt.
Wow, thank you very much.
As deserved.
As deserved. We actually have a clip of the intro. Let's take a look.
Three sisters, Parker the craziest, Anna the pregnantest, and Jessica my favorite, like my BFF. Boss is the family is Mama. Mama!
Hello. Whoa, calm down. Why are you so hysterical? Wait, what? No. What do you mean the show starts in 2 minutes? What day is it? Oh my stars. You mean to tell me I've been sitting here watching Honey Boo Boo Child since our last show ended? No, I just came home, sat down on my couch and started watching. No, I haven't showered, I haven't eaten, I haven't slept. Look, I haven't gotten off my couch in months, not even to use the restroom. And that scares me, man. I'll have to go to the doctor at some point. But right now, we've got a show to do. You're my producer. Tell me what to do. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. You have everything ready. I'll be there. All right. It's time for Morehead Today 2.0. Look out, world. Here comes Nate Merritt.
Welcome to Morehead Today. Today's guest, Coach Sean Woods. Dean of Students, Kevin Kett. And musical guest, Tyler Mullen. Shot on the campus of Morehead State University, out of Studio A in Breckenridge Hall. Here's your host, Nate Merritt.
Guys, whew, what a jog that was to get here. But I made it, and I made it on time for the brand new season of Morehead Today.
So Nate, was the water cold when you jumped in?
Oh, not at all. No, it was great. It was good temperature. It was a lot of fun going in a suit. I actually had just bought 10 minutes prior at the Goodwill. So
I was wondering, that suit.
Once and only once.
All right, and we have now the Morehead Today Best Hair Award. He knows it's going in. Mr. Gary Courtney.
All right, I think we should probably take a look at that.
We do have a picture of his do. There, yeah. Most Outtakes Award. Now, I don't know for myself if this is true, but the stories Haley's told, it goes to Mr. David.
I already knew it was coming.
Tell us this 5-second story that I hear so much about.
Right when they would say, like, we was about to start recording, I'd just get real tense, and I'd be like, I need 5 more seconds. So 5 seconds, I'd say, like, over and over and
And then
over.
he would sit there for like 20
And I would
seconds.
sit there for like 20, 30 seconds, and then I'd just start.
Yeah.
With it. But,
He would just, 5 seconds.
This is well-deserved right here.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any clips from that, though, because of the tragic hard drive crash.
Oh.
of
Tragic
2013.
hard drive crash of 2013 was devastating. That was my baby.
Your baby.
Had it from 201 Jeffrey Hill, and then just one day we just editing the show, and
I was there. I remember.
fire.
Oh, wow. The Morehead Today Best Set Award goes to Haley Murphy. I mean,
Definitely, yeah.
totally revamped the
I had a couple
backdrop.
trees.
We just like the site.
I spent quite a few hours trying to paint these
No
with a stencil.
ficuses.
I got rid of the ficuses.
Got rid of the
They-
ficuses.
I think we grabbed a couple focuses from the lobby downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
President Andrews.
There's also one more award. It's the Morehead Today Best Segment Producers Award for the host that had the best segment producers. Now, it says it goes to Haley Murphy, but on mine and Austin's behalf, I'm going to take this one because
I
From the
think
guy who's going a little bit
Yeah.
blush right now.
I mean-
we'll say.
I think that's definitely deserved. I witnessed the segment producer of D-Ray show often, and it
What are
was
you trying
rough.
to say?
It was rough.
who came up with the whole segment producer?
I had a cat's ovaries shown on. Who else had that? Now, come on.
I mean, I jumped out of the bush and scared people.
Yeah.
We brought the segment producer idea in the second season, I think, second semester we made the show. And it was just because the two original producers, Jason McClurg and Michael Farr, had a major part in the making of the show. They were going out and helping me do interviews and shooting packages and whatnot. We wanted to ramp them up to that next level and put them to kind of the reporter level. So we started getting them on screen and actually doing their own packages.
And I like it because it also is one less thing that I had to worry about.
Real
I
time.
know. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but pressure to do it.
Oh, I wasn't that hard to work for.
Yeah, you
Come
were.
on.
I always liked watching the segments, though. I did. I enjoyed it.
All right. What's next for you all now that this show's over and y'all are moved on with your lives since? Gary?
I'm teaching here at MSU right now, teaching freshman communication classes. I have 2 more classes in the spring. Looking for a full-time teaching position somewhere, university somewhere. So I've been applying across the country here recently, trying to get out of Morehead a little bit.
Nate?
Yeah, for me, I got a lot of projects I'm working on as far as acting goes. I'm working with some guys on my first union shoot in Indianapolis, where they've offered me the lead role, which could be really big potentially. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but it's my first union gig. And then also I do a lot of freelance editing, and any freelance editing or producing, shooting, if people need help, you can always give me a call.
Shameless plug.
So at any point in time, I do a lot of just projects on the side as far as anything to do with producing a video or any sort of video work and acting.
Yeah, I'm really starting to get into the flipping hamburgers. I really think that's a really good field for me. It's a growing field.
Yeah.
No, but I don't really know right now. I'm pretty content where I'm at with Surf Kentucky, doing my news reporting and shooting video and stuff. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully soon, maybe I'll try to move up into the news business and find another job somewhere. Who knows?
Well, I have 1 semester left of undergrad. I know, so sad. Don't remind me. But after undergrad, I plan to apply for quite a few news jobs, kind of around here within a couple hours. But if that doesn't pan out or I don't get anything, up to my standards, I'm also applying to grad school to go to school for educational media so that I can be like Gary and teach.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me today. It's been pretty exciting to take a walk down memory lane and laugh about it. Stay tuned, because when we come back, Haley, Austin, and I are going to take a walk down memory lane of our own with the best of Morehead Today from this season. We'll be right back.
And print. Oh, yeah.
It never gets old, huh?
Nope.
It kind of makes you wanna...
Break into song?
Yup. I love the sunset.
I love Eagle Lake.
I love the forest. I love when eagles play.
I love the campus!
And all its sights and sounds.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
I love philosophy.
We love diversity. I love English.
And all its weird words. I love the music.
And all its melodies. Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
Boom-de-yada, boom-de-yada.
I love fraternities.
I love sororities.
I love to draw things.
And all the athletes.
I love Morehead.
It's such a pretty place.
Boom-de-yada, 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 boom-de-yada.
Welcome back to the Christmas edition of Morehead Today. You guys, we've had a lot of musical guests this semester, haven't we? Who are your favorites?
You know, I got to be impartial, and I just got to say my best friend, Miss Haley Clay, was mine.
She was good.
I would have to say Corey Wright when she sang Jolene. Very good.
She was definitely one of my favorites too. I'm going to have to go with the Steam Power Gentleman Band since, you know, we did have them twice and all. But we thought, you know, I'd take a look at everyone else who's been here this semester.
She said, come to me, you are what I need. I was smiling, it was all in green. When the morning came, I was headed out. You looked around, I was nowhere to be found. I want you to know, this is how I roll.
Jolene, 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 Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare with flaming locks of auburn hair with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Your breath is like a breath of spring. Your smell is like summer rain, and I don't think I can compete with you, Jolene.
On the mountain, the wind blowing free, thinking about the days that used to be. On the mountain, I'm standing all alone, wondering where the years my life have gone. As I looked at the valleys down below, they were gray just as far as I could see. As my memory returned, I found my heart to yearn for you and the days that used to be. 'Cause since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie, Valerie, Valerie.
Stubborn as an ox, proud as a lion. A fantastic mother and always a buying. 3 weeks of sickness in Siren Town. I can hear your lullabies, they take you to town. I love you in the morning and in the afternoon. I love you every second, every minute of the day.
And by now I'm just a picture gaining dust upon the shelf. But right now you are still all that's on my mind. I know I can't always get
second chances. I know I messed this up, and that's a fact. And it's crazy that I'd even sit and write this song about you, and I don't expect you to just hear it then come back.
Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live, there should be more happiness. So much joy we can give to each brand new bright tomorrow. Make me happy through the years. Never bring me any tears. Let your arms be as warm as the sun up above. Bring me fun, bring me sunshine, bring me love.
Well, I'm going where the weather suits my clothes. Well, I'm going where the weather suits my clothes. Well, I'm going where the weather suits my clothes, Lord God. And I ain't gonna be treated this way. Let's get down low here. Well, I was way down in prison on my knees. I was way down in prison on my knees. I was way down in prison on my knees, Lord, Lord. And I ain't gonna be treated this way.
If you feel the need to smoke, please use the designated areas outside Baird Hall and Lapin Hall.
Lord, what fools these mortals be.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
I have always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Yo, why are you looking at bags, bro? What you need is a chick magnet. You put me in the room and boom, chicks. That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome back to Morehead Today. You know, guys, along with the wide array of musical guests and segments that we've had, we've also done plenty of interviews.
We have. My favorite of all time was definitely with Liza Angeliquio when I web chatted her and talked about her battle with cancer.
It's a great one.
I gotta say, mainly because he's in studio right now. We had D-Ray come on and keep us up to date with what he was doing, and of course, when Shelby came on to talk about her Disney internship and theater majors.
That was definitely a fun one.
Anytime we do interviews with like people that I know really personally, like Shelby and Dawn and G, you know, those would probably be my favorites.
Definitely.
For sure.
I'm still determined to get on theater majors.
I think we should try.
I mean, I sent him our pitch, our Broadway thing, so maybe.
Definitely.
All right, let's take a look.
right now, like you're contributing a lot more than you ever have before campus-wise, other than just with your fraternity?
I hope so. I kind of leave that for the students and administration to judge, but I would like to think so, yes.
How do others become involved with SGA?
Well, really, just by being a student at MSU, everyone is involved with SGA. We are the Student Government Association, student being first. We represent the students in any way possible, whether that be a complaint, concern, a suggestion, anything of that sort. But specifically, there are 30 Congress positions that we just revealed today. The voting was last week, so congratulations to those 30 Congress members now. But everyone is welcome at our meetings. They're 6 p.m. Every Wednesday in the Wriggle Room of ADUC.
So what is your most recent work about?
Well, it's called I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive, and it comes from an old Hank Williams song by the same name. And it is strange to some people, I think, but it's about life and death. And I interview a lot of funeral directors. People had some interesting stories. Gosh, I interviewed priests and preachers and Zen Buddhists, and trying to get a different perspective on life and death. And hopefully somebody will watch it one day and be inspired.
Well, how did you come up with this idea?
I once knew a guy who was a funeral director, and everyone was afraid of him. And he was a nice guy, and after I found out what he did, I thought, well, that's interesting. And he told me that you have to be buried in a casket and a vault. And you couldn't just bury someone in your backyard. And I thought, well, gosh, the libertarian in me hates that. No government's going to tell me I can't bury somebody in my backyard. And that's how it started.
So you said you talked to some interesting people.
I did, yeah.
Who was the most interesting?
Probably Joe Clark. Joe Clark was a funeral director / paranormal investigator. So,
likely combination, I feel like.
Yeah. He would oftentimes, prepare a body and then sense spirit activity at the same time. So he's actually the leading paranormal investigator in the state of Kentucky, and he had his own special on LEX 18 at one point. So.
Do you actually believe in ghosts or
No,
paranormal?
I don't know.
Not at all?
No, I believe in things that are real, Haley.
Well, did this actually change your outlook about dying and death and the industry?
I think so. Well, that's the one thing I hope people take from this is we're all going to die. You and me and everyone we know, in 100 years, probably no one's going to remember us. And we need to be okay with that. We need to not be so uptight about our own mortality. So that's the one thing I hope people take from this, and I've taken that.
Well, it is based roughly on my life. Everyone talks about how their life would make a good sitcom or a good movie or whatever, and I decided I wanted to actually do that. And so I love Parks and Recreation and The Office and Modern Family, and I like the idea of it being about a group of college kids who are theater majors that decide to film themselves in their normal daily lives.
I thought it was very interesting from, chats with theater majors. You all are naturally theatrical, so it makes sense to make a TV show out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the general premise is similar to The Office somewhat?
Yeah. It's the way that it's kind of explained in the pilot is my character, Josh, for a class project has decided to have a group of his friends forced into filming him. Through his daily life as a theater major. And so in the pilot episode, you'll see him kind of meeting new freshmen as they come in, because it starts on the first day of classes, and then him meeting new freshmen and him getting ready for auditions for the shows that are happening in that department, and kind of the craziness that ensues from that.
So this is like your own personal side project, right?
Yes.
How are you going about filming it, and are people really willing to participate and help you?
Yes, I've been so fortunate to have tons of people come up and ask if they could. I mean, as simple as do you need someone to just walk on for a second, or is there a character you have in mind for me? Everyone wants to do something with the project, which has been so helpful, and the hardest thing is because all of us, the majority of us, are theater majors, and so our time schedule is a little off. So trying to find time to film it has been the hardest part. But so far, it's been what we have been able to film has been a lot of fun.
How are you actually doing the filming process? Is it theater majors filming you, or are you using outside people?
My brother is a communications major at Northern Kentucky, and he and I kind of have wanted to work on a TV show for a while, and I pitched him the idea, and he loved it, and so he's come down when he can to help shoot stuff.
So do you actually plan on making a whole series out of this, or like a mini series, I guess?
The plan is to, I wanted to make it as an actual series, similar to The Office or Parks and Rec and such, and I already have a first season laid out, and I'm working on developing a second season, and so I'm just, I don't know, if I was going to dedicate the time to creating it, I wanted to make sure that I made it worth my time, and so I wanted to make it something that I could do for years, or I could just do a season and be done with it.
On December 21st, I went to the doctor to get a prescription refilled, and I just happened to mention to him some of the symptoms I was having. I was having really bad chest and back pains and shortness of breath really bad. And he thought that maybe I had pulmonary embolisms on my lungs, so he went ahead and drew my blood and said that I would get the results back in a few days. Well, he ended up calling me at 8:30 that night and told me that I was going to be going to the hospital because he thought I had leukemia. So by 10 o'clock that night, I was in the hospital, and I started chemo the next day. Liza Strong started when the Colts head coach Chuck Pagano was diagnosed with leukemia last year. The Colts organization started the hashtag Chuck Strong. So when I was diagnosed with leukemia, one of my friends started the Liza Strong hashtag. And I was really surprised with how quickly it spread because everyone just completely jumped on and caught onto it. And it was a really easy way for me to see all my supporters and stuff by going to that hashtag. I actually didn't know how sick that I was because I didn't ask a lot of questions. I, from the very beginning, didn't really want to know everything. I just wanted to know what I needed to know. And it was after the fact that my mom told me that the doctors only gave me a 10% chance of living at one point because I was so sick. That was the time when I was in the worst state, when I was really sick, and I just was so out of it that having my phone next to me wasn't a huge priority to me. And that was also a way that my friends knew how bad off things were because I wasn't texting them or tweeting or posting on Facebook or anything. We've learned so much about leukemia that we never knew before, and it's brought us really close together. We definitely don't take anything for granted anymore. It was awesome, and I was positively overwhelmed. I just couldn't believe all the support that me and my family had received. People I didn't even know or weren't even really friends with at Morehead, they stepped up and did everything that they could to support me and my family. I just have 2 classes left to take, so I'm looking into taking them at one of the universities back home so that I can actually go to class and have my credits transferred to Morehead, and I'm looking to do that next semester. I go to the doctor once every 2 weeks, and every time I go, my medication is reduced. I'm finally being able to gain weight again. I'm feeling better and better every single day. I've been able to start making plans and traveling, going on vacations. So it's been a crazy journey, but things are definitely looking up.
We shouldn't even be out here. It's like 20 degrees out.
Breaking news. Events happening in Morehead. Special guests. Weather updates. There when you need it. Channel 77. News Center. Thursdays from 5 to 5:30.
Welcome back to this final edition of Morehead Today. With that, we have some exciting news from these two.
That we do.
We're getting our own show!
That's right.
Yep.
Chad and Austin will be taking over next semester as the new host of a new show that will air in place of Morehead Today. What's the show going to be about?
It's going to have us and some other co-hosts that are yet to be announced, and we are literally going to be getting students involved in current events, and because that's something I learned with our segment when we would go out and we did the gun violence one. People didn't know about the Navy Yard shooting, and they were just unaware, and it's like, this is a perfect platform for us to be like, hey, you're in college, it's time for you to become aware of things that are going on in the world, and I think this will be our perfect way to do it.
So kind of a mix of everything, like
Yeah.
The View
It's
sort of?
still going to be similar to Morehead Today right now, but we're going to have our own segments. We're going to have each host doing something different every week. So it's going to be really cool, and it's kind of combining this with something completely new.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, Morehead Today's had a long run, as we saw with the reunion earlier today, so it's kind of sad to see it go.
It is.
But I'm glad that you guys are taking over, and I'm sure we'll make it great. I get to come on the show, though, right?
I may have you come on as like a special guest co-host or something. No. But Haley, you did mention that this is our last show, and we're so thankful for the opportunity that you gave us, and we gave you a little something.
Aww. Where's he going?
Just wait.
Just a little something to remember us when you graduate and go on to better things. Open it now.
Should I be scared?
No.
No, don't be scared.
No.
What's this?
We decided to go against the scary thing.
No. No, it's that one.
What is it? I'm so scared. Aww, that's so cute.
Yes, it is.
It says, what's it say? Believe
in you. That's how you make your dreams come true.
And we know you'll do
it's
great
perfect?
things with the little Mickey Mouse ears on it.
Aw, perfect.
We love you. Thank you so
you.
much for everything.
Thank you for having us, Haley.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, there they are. Perfect.
Here at Provisions on Demand, we have everything you need right here on campus. We are open anytime you need to stop by. Conveniently located on the lobby floor of Alumni Tower.
L6 here. Today I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite gadgets, the Eagle Buck.
Beaker bucks are a cool gadget to use on campus, anywhere from vending machines to the bookstore. They are even accepted at restaurants around Morehead.
Beaker bucks are way safer than cash and have gotten me out of many sticky situations. Until next time.
As this is our last episode of Morehead Today, I got you all little parting gifts for your shows next semester.
Haley, you didn't.
And there's one certain thing, you gotta take this thing out, you know. They're very specific to each of you. No,
What?
the glass thing.
There's so much candy. This is wonderful.
Oh, and candy, because I thought y'all needed candy.
Well, I do need
got you
candy.
this one because
Oh.
you're always stressed out, and I think you need to remember to keep calm. And of
I
course,
love it.
for Uncle Si, he gets his Uncle Si. And you guys can
That's
use these on your
fantastic.
shows next semester.
These,
we
this will
will.
be
You know we
right
will.
next to me every
It should, and you can think of me
This is awesome.
every
will.
time you see them.
Awesome.
But with that, this is our last episode of Morehead Today. And I think it's time that we say goodbye.
I think it is. Come on
Special
out,
thanks
guys.
to everyone that was here today, including our awesome crew. Thank you to David Ray Gillum. Thank you to Nate Merritt, and of course, Gary Cornett. And to my segment producers, and the lovely crew of Morehead Today in their Christmas attire. It's been a great season, a great semester, and tune in for Chad and Austin's show next semester.
We'll know if you're not watching.
From everyone here at Morehead Today, see you later.